level 2 less than equal to 54, and level 3 or severe hypoglycemia. This is not based on the glucose levels. This is primarily when someone requires assistance of another person for the recovery of hypoglycemia. The person has become so much disabled that he or she himself is not able to take that glucose or something to correct the hypoglycemia, and help of some other person is required to correct the hypoglycemia, that is called as severe hypoglycemia or level 3 hypoglycemia. I think in practice all of us must have seen relative hypoglycemia or pseudo hypoglycemia. This is when you have typical symptoms of hypos. The symptoms get corrected when somebody takes glucose, but the glucose levels, they were more than 70. And it typically happens when somebody is running with the glucose levels of like 300, 350. You start some form of therapy, and now the glucose level suddenly comes from 300 to 120 or 130. So they may start experiencing symptoms of hypos at that particular levels only. The important thing, if this is one of the systematic review published in 2015, hypoglycemia, they are prevalent on insulin therapy. If you see somebody on insulin, mild level 1 or level 2 hypoglycemia, 23 events per person per year. Severe hypoglycemia requiring assistance of another person, 1 event per person per year. So hypoglycemia do happen, and this meta-analysis included all kind of insulins, that were available at that point of time. Also, there are many CGMS studies which have again given very clear hint that in fact, many times the patients do not report. Many times the body itself corrects and person may not even get from the sleep. This is one of the study in type 1 diabetic children. You can see more than 36,000 nights they were studied, and what you see, during 8.5% of nights they had hypoglycemic episodes, and prolonged hypoglycemia, more than 2 hours, 23% of hypoglycemic nights. So the message is very, very clear that hypoglycemias do happen. Hypoglycemias, they are common on insulin therapy. The important thing, we should be able to give a clear message how to recognize the symptoms of hypoglycemia and how to correct. So the symptoms, early symptoms, they are autonomic symptoms because of sympatholoadrenal response, and it can be like cold sweats, paresthesias, tremors, polyphagia, palpitations, anxiety. The important thing, any acute unusual symptoms in a person with diabetes, you have to think for hypoglycemia. The problem is sometimes, many times, they are not able to recognize that these symptoms are because of hypoglycemia. I give a very interesting example. One of, I am following one of the doctor couple who are in the same area we are practicing in the Paschim Bihar. The lady that I am following, she is anesthesia specialist, and the husband is renowned dermatologist of Paschim Bihar. And she was on some oral hypoglycemics and basal insulin, this glargine 300 IU, for maybe 4 months. Many times we had discussed about hypoglycemia also. And when one day she had typical sweating, ghabrat, some palpitations and everything, they did not thought of hypoglycemia. They first went to the hospital emergency. There the ECG was done, that turned out to be normal. Then somebody checked the glucose levels, and they found that the glucose levels was only 50, something like that. So what I am trying to convey, in spite of multiple times communications, both patient as well as the spouse is a doctor, many, in spite of that, they did not thought that these symptoms are because of hypoglycemia. So the hypoglycemia, because sometimes when we discuss about hypoglycemia with the patients, कि नहीं सर हमारी तो आज तक शुगर लो नहीं हुई, but it is very important that आज तक लो नहीं हुई does not mean कि कभी लो नहीं हो सकती. You must know any acute symptoms, and sometimes the symptoms, they can be just behavioral, and so it is very, very clear. These things nobody is going to see. As a physician, it is our duty to see all these things. Clear communications, 40 IU vial, 40 IU syringe, 100 IU vial, 100 IU syringe. Similarly, refills, they are to be used with pen. Never try to sort of take out insulins from those refills with syringes. Even if somebody is doing, they must know with what syringe it has to be used, because in the market by default they will get 40 IU syringe. And I had one patient, type 1 diabetes girl, who was on this glargine 300 IU, and she was taking that insulin from the syringe because she was not very comfortable with the pen, and it is 7.5 times of dose that what she was thinking. She was thinking that she is taking 6 units. It was 7 times dose because it is Rather than 40 IU per ml, it is 300 IU per ml. So when these insulins are there in the market, they have to become much more cautious. So the complications of hypoglycemia, I think all of us know. When it is severe hypoglycemia unawareness, you might have seen patients landing in emergencies with unconsciousness, multiple organ failure, arrhythmias, arrest, stroke, permanent brain damage, coma, and death, etc. In clinical trials also of even for sulfonylureas like Accord and BET and Advance, the severe episodes of hypos, they were clearly associated with higher risk of cardiovascular mortality and overall mortality. So it's not that sulfonylureas are dangerous. It was the patients who had hypoglycemia with sulfonylurea, they had the issues in those trials. Not only that, even the mild episodes of hypoglycemia, they erode the patient's confidence. And many times the patients, they are not ready to take insulin. You might have patients you are clear that you have to start insulin. नहीं सर, वो एक साल पहले insulin शुरू किया था, लेकिन चौथे दिन ही शुगर लो हो गई थी. So there is a lot of fear into the patient's mind, and that generally happens because nobody educates them clearly about hypoglycemia. When episodes of hypoglycemia happens, they are calling here and there, then what to be done. Sometimes they will randomly eat 4 rasgulla. So hypoglycemia education is not done in practice. That is the major reason why there is so much of hue and cry. If the clear education, you have to clearly told them whenever you are starting any diabetes medications, including insulins, hypoglycemia is a possibility. If hypoglycemia will happen, this is the glucose cutoff. These are the symptoms that you are going to face, and this is the protocol that you have to follow. You don't call here and there. Just follow this protocol. In my clinic, I have got a ready-made flyers, in Hindi as well as English, which are written by myself, given to each and every patient. And in my prescription, I always write, whether I will write or my dietitian will write or educator will write, hypoglycemia education done. At first visit for every diabetes patients, we make sure 2 things are written: dietary counseling done, hypoglycemia education done. If nobody has done, I will do that. So it is mandatory that in every prescription of diabetes, we have a clear written this thing that hypoglycemia education done. That is very, very important. So hypoglycemia, because even when they have mild episodes of hypoglycemia, they are fearful. They don't want to increase their doses. They want to discontinue insulin therapy. After minor episodes of hypoglycemia, many patients, they discontinue their insulins also. And they become very much fearful for titration also. They become comfortable with their fasting of like 170 or 180. They don't want to take any risk. So as physicians, there are some of the things that we can do to decrease the risk of hypoglycemia. We can use more physiological regimen. We can use insulins that have lesser risk of hypoglycemia as compared to other insulins. As I was discussing, the most important thing is hypoglycemia education. Also, we need to clearly tell our patients that when they are on insulins, they have to have a glucometer in this era. They have to monitor their glucose levels. You have to clearly give them instructions regarding what should be their fasting and PP, and when they need to adjust their doses. That is very, very important. If the glucose levels start going less than 80 or less than 90, they need to appropriately decrease the insulin dose. That is very, very important. Similarly, in practice, we need to recognize the signs of overtreatment. If you see every morning the fasting glucose is coming like 65 or 70, you are probably giving insulin overdose. You have to decrease the insulin doses. Some minor things. Sometimes they are on basal bolus regimen, but they are taking their dinner at 8 p.m. and nothing at bedtime. Then mornings they are dipping. So I think the dietary counseling, the insulin sites, everything. So everything has to be taken in mind. So you have to be very clear that what is the kind of diet for the patients, because generally the hypos, they are happening when they are making long gaps in the meals. So these are very, very important things, and all patients and their family members, they must know about hypoglycemia. So at every visit, whenever they are coming, especially patients with insulin, you have to inquire whether they had any hypos episodes in the last 1 month or 2 months. If it were hypo episodes, whether they were documented, undocumented, what were the kind of symptoms, they were able to recognize the symptoms, and how they correct it. Because whatever the education you might have given, sometimes they may not be following the right protocol also. That is also very, very important. Then I was discussing, we can use regimen with lesser risk of hypoglycemia. We can use insulins with lesser risk of hypoglycemia. Like we have a clear data, if you use NPH insulin versus glargine insulin, glargine has much lesser risk of hypoglycemia as compared to NPH insulin. So this is the treatment of hypoglycemia, and this is what, I just write in my flyers also. If you have these symptoms, check your glucose levels. If it is less than 70, you have to take 15 gram of rapid acting carbohydrate. Now this can be 15 gram glucose in 100 ml of water. This can be 3 TSM of this sugar also, which is there in the house with some water, or it can be like 150 or 200 ml of fruity or orange juice. And then, or if they want to take cold drink, that this has to be normal Coke, not diet Coke or something like that. And after 15 minutes, they check their glucose levels, and if it is still less than 70, they have to repeat this process. And once it is more than 70, now they can contact their healthcare provider. Or if what is important, if it is now the time for their meal, now they can consume their meal. If this episode would have happened at 3 AM in the night, now when they taken the glucose, the sugar level is more than 70, it's not that now they are going to sleep. This point of time, they have to take something sort of normal kind of sort, maybe like some milk or some bread or some chapati, something like this, because even if the glucose levels has become 70, with already have developed hypoglycemia unawareness. They will not recognize symptoms of hypos, and many times we had patients telling their being told by family members that suddenly they found their father or mother in the bed with lots of sweating and they were not able to wake them up. So this is a clear episode of severe hypoglycemia. Now the person is unconscious. So what to be done now? Anybody would like to tell me what can be done at the home? If somebody is unconscious at home and now they have checked any patient with diabetes on insulin therapy is suddenly becoming unconscious. The only differential diagnosis at this point of time is hypoglycemia, unless you don't make another diagnosis. So whether you check the glucose levels or not, it has to be treated like hypoglycemia. Now anybody in this hall would like to tell me what can be done at home before they go to the hospital? Yes, sir.
Minimum blood glucose level, minimum. Every patient does not complain.
Pardon, sir? Minimum means?
What can be the minimum blood glucose level? Even at that, patient does not have any complaint.
70 is the cutoff for hypoglycemia, less than 50.
सर कोई नहीं है ऐसा ऐसा
Yeah, some glucometers, generally the glucometers, commercially available glucometers, they can show readings up to 40 or 50. Below that, they just show low. You have seen many times the patients coming, he said the glucometer was showing LO or LOW, something like that.
No, he is asking something different. He is asking at what minimum.
Sometimes you can have patients who are showing the glucometer is showing low and they say they don't have any symptoms.
So that would be only because of two things. Either he is having hypoglycemia
Unawareness. Or you have to put a drop. If the less blood is put, the reading will come, but it will come as falsely low. That is one of the common source of error with the glucometers.
Hello.
So what I am trying to say, I think Dr. Sukla sir wants to make any comment. Yeah.
Hello. Actually, I have already gone by Dr. Jyoti. This is last. It was a powerful, useful lecture. Hypoglycemia is very relevant. A small 30 seconds anecdote I will tell you. We have a red paper that we give to paper, done and everything is done. And in spite of that, what happens? साहब बहुत कमजोरी आ रही है तो लाल कागज कहाँ पे नीचे दबा होता है. What I feel where we are lacking is whatever education we all are giving, probably we should train our staff to do some sort of psychotherapy to understand the value of this. Because patient comes to us and he has they have so many things. He's bothered about his symptom, he's bothered about his breast over, he's bothered about his control, he's bothered about his weight, he's bothered about the side effect of medicine, he's bothered about so many things. So hypoglycemia goes much at the bottom. So we should do something to prioritize this.
I absolutely agree with you, and this is a problem I have very often encountered in my practice. Whatever education has been done, again they are coming back to the clinic. They had episodes of hypoglycemia and they don't know really what to do. In fact, I made my own video explaining everything about hypoglycemia. Put this on the YouTube. Any patient who comes to me कि सर मेरे को hypoglycemia episodes हुआ था, I just tell them कि आज आपने ये video जरूर देखना है, something like that. And what I've seen, the patient then watch this video.
answer your question. What can be done in home?
Yes, sir.
Answer.
So if somebody has become unconscious, you cannot give something orally. Otherwise, the person will aspirate, and the aspiration pneumonia can happen. So what can be done? You can, either use this honey. So honey is sticky. So the honey can be applied. Any family members can take honey over their fingers and apply, over the entire buccal mucosa and over the gums. So this absorption, honey has sort of lot of glucose. So glucose absorption will happen from the buccal mucosa and gums. And once the patient becomes conscious, then something can be given orally. If honey is not available, then what can be done? Sometimes they have a chasni, this chini ki chasni. Or if they have a glucose powder, a small amount of water can be added there, and a thick paste of glucose powder can be made. And this thick paste of glucose powder, this can again be applied over the entire buccal mucosa and over the gums. And this glucose will not go into the stomach, this will be absorbed from the buccal mucosa. And once the person becomes unconscious, now you can give the water so that whatever glucose is left, it can go to the stomach. So I have seen my 3 or 4 patients, they have been saved just because they knew this, and when they become unconscious, so whatever video I have made or whatever flyers I have made, this is clearly written in case the person becomes unconscious, this you have to follow.
Thank you, Dr. Sameer. For the wonderful presentation. Now I invite Dr. Sameer Agarwal on insulin hypertension.
I think there cannot be